Hi guys, this is Kerrie Ann Auclair from Gold Gun Owners Action League. I'm the outreach director and I have some really exciting things to talk about. So June 3rd, I had a really big town meeting and I was able to accomplish the town opting out of the new bill, which is making it town halls a sensitive space. So I just kind of want to talk about the process because I think there's a lot of people that are interested in possibly doing this and they're not exactly sure how to. Depending on your town, depending on how your town is made up. So, for example, I have selectmen. So, for my town, it was pretty simple. I had to go to the town clerk, ask for a petition. I put some language in there, and she told me I needed 10 signatures. That was it. I got like 3 pages worth of signatures. I wanted to make a point. So I was actually able to get that done pretty quickly. Once that's done, I was able to get it onto the warrant. Of course, the selectman has to approve everything. And because it's a citizen's petition, it automatically gets on the warrant. So I was Article 18 and there was 25 articles that night. So let's go into a little bit about how to go about doing this for your town. So check your town's charter. So, for example, again, I have a selectman, your town might have a mayor, so your town charter is probably going to be made up in a different format. So it might be a different process than what I went through. So what I would suggest you do is contact your town clerk's office and ask them, how can I do a citizen's petition and what is the process for me to get that on to the next town meeting? I know a few people, unfortunately, miss their town meeting, but it comes often. Sometimes they have a special town meeting, which means you can also jump onto that as well. So just check the town clerk, call the town clerk, find out what you can do as a citizen to get this on to the warrant for the next town meeting. It's not a hard process. I will tell you the hardest part about making sure I had enough people at the town hall was getting out into social media. I had a small crew of people that actually texted people, they contacted people, they emailed people. It was on social media. It was on the town meetings, special Facebook groups that you have. So we went to town. And so I was very fortunate to have a lot of people to help me get them there that night. The room was packed. We had more of a quorum. So I believe it's 100 that we need. There was probably 200 in that room, which made me smile because I know there was a few other articles in there that was a hot topic, and I knew mine was as well. So I would suggest, and what I did is I went into the town meeting with the intention of being able to pass out some flyers, so some general talking points. Basically, the talking points that I did was talk about the process of how much we have to go through to get our license, what the process as far as that goes. So we have to go to a class, we have to get a certificate, we have to apply for a license, we have to do background checks, not just through the town, but through the state. There's all sorts of things that we have to go through, and then we have to pay a fee. So we are probably the most law-abiding citizens in the community. So I definitely made that a point. I also made it a point to help them understand what a sensitive place refers to, gun-free zone refers to, and I had some talking points that people could sit down and read. I would also recommend that you're good and you're feeling comfortable with rebutting anybody that comes up and starts talking in a negative way. So, for example, I had a couple people come up talking about school shootings. I had someone come up and said that they felt that gun-free zones are safe. So I was very comfortable with getting up and talking about what the truth is. So the myth versus the truth. So definitely feel make sure you're comfortable with that. If you're not, contact us. We'll help you. I have talking points I can give you. I have the language to give you to get it onto the petition for the citizens ballot, citizens petition. And yeah, it's not hard. The hardest part is getting there and being comfortable standing up and talking to everybody and being comfortable with making sure that you are ready to speak when you need to. So that's it. I'm excited. Berkley got it done. We got it done. And also, I believe that same night, another town actually had the meeting and they got it passed as well. And I think it was Drake, Massachusetts. And there's a few other towns. So if you know of a town that did pass, can you contact me and let me know? Because we would like to keep track of that, because that's really awesome. It's unfortunate we have to go through this, but I'm proud that we did it, and I'm really excited that we got it accomplished. So thank you, Berkley, for showing up, standing up, and being a voice. And stay tuned. We'll have some little clips of the exciting night. So thanks so much. Contact me at Kerrie@goal.org, Kerrie @goal.org, if you're interested in getting your town to opt out. And of course, if you have other towns that you know of that got this done, let me know. Thanks.
Do you want to read the article first and then I present?
You can read the article if you like.
So 100 North Main Street, Berkley, Massachusetts. Article 18, exclusion of the administrative building and protect parties as prohibited areas. Under Chapter 135, an Act of 2024, an Act of modernizing firearms, H. 4885. To see if the town hall will vote to exclude as provided for in Chapter 135, an Act of 2024. It's municipal administration buildings, the town, and town properties from being defined as prohibited areas. Under Chapter 269, Section 10, thereby, allowing possession of firearms, loaded or unloaded, defined in Section 121 as Chapter 140. In said buildings, or take any other actions related to thereto. Under Chapter 135 and Act of 2024, licensed law-abiding gun owners in Berkley are now considered criminals just by walking into the town hall as a law just passed in
Yeah. Before you continue, can you actually read the motion?
Oh, sure.
In front of you?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
So under Chapter 135 and Act of 2024, licensed law-abiding gun owners in Berkley are now
Actually,
considered...
no, your motion on here is, I move the town to exclude its municipal administrative
Oh,
buildings. Do you have
I'm
that
sorry.
language?
I don't in front of me, I'm sorry.
Just to make it official, thanks.
I thought you guys were going to read this for me. My apologies. I move that the town exclude municipal administrative buildings and the town property from being defined as prohibited areas under Chapter 269, Section 10 of Massachusetts General Law, thereby allowing possessions of firearms loaded and unloaded defined in Section 121, Chapter 140 in said buildings. That is. Okay.
Do we have a second on the motion? Second. Thank you. Now you have a presentation?
Yeah, okay. So, if anybody doesn't know me, again, my name is Kerrie Ann Auclair. I've been living in the town since 2024. I'm currently a firearm instructor. I also volunteer my time for Armed Women of America, Women for Gun Rights, also on the board for the Second Amendment Institute, and I work for gun owners actually. I've been doing this for about 7 years, almost 10 years actually, and I'm dedicated to helping individuals get their license to carry and providing education on a regular basis to help individuals feel confident and comfortable with their firearms. The reason I'm standing here today is I've been asked multiple times, why would I allow anybody coming into the town hall with a firearm? It's really simple. It's my civil right. So therefore, I hate to tell you, but for the past, I don't know how many years before this law just passed in August, many of you carried in the town hall, as you have been for many, many years. Whether you do it for hunting, self-protection, maybe you just do it for fun. It doesn't matter, it's a civil right, and right now I'm not a criminal, and I don't want any of us to be a criminal by walking into the town hall and exercising our civil rights and paying a tax. So I'm asking that the town opts out, and of course, I just want to make a little bit of a comment, if I may. There's a process that we go through to get our license to carry, and the process is pretty intense. So in order for me as an instructor to give any of you guys a certificate, you have to take a course that's approved by the state. and I have to be an approved instructor by the state, which I am. So you have to take that course, you get your certificate, you then go to the police department, you apply for your license to carry, and then they take that application and they go through another process. So now you're going to be vetted by the police officers here in town, also by the state. So not only am I vetted, I'm fingerprinted, I'm background checked, and by the way, every single time I buy a firearm, I'm background checked again and again and again and again. So there is quite a long process to get your application, and then they have to approve it. The state has to approve it, and then I pay the fee. So I hate to tell you, but I also want to mention that the bad guys don't follow the rules and regulations. As you can clearly see, every time you turn the news on, something's going on, something happened to somebody, and those are bad guys not following the rules or the regulations in this town or any town for that matter. So if anybody has any questions, I'm more than willing to answer them. Thank you.
License to carry, what they're able to carry in town hall. With the change at the state level, they've decided that, towns and cities can opt out and allow still to carry municipalities except for certain, voting in situations like that, correct?
That's correct. So August 2024, a bill did pass where they said that town halls are now considered sensitive places. If anybody doesn't know what sensitive places, that pretty much means it's a gun-free zone.
Thank you. Before we take any discussion, where the motion was made and the presentation was made by the moving party, I'm going to ask if we have a second on the motion. Thank you. We have a second and a motion on Article 18 and a second. Does anyone have any questions? I see there's a few people up the microphone, so you just identify yourself, please.
So, Jacob Kress, 18 Stanley Ave. Just a point of clarification on the way the article is written by public-owned property and everything. Would that include the schools then?
No.
I didn't hear you. Stores?
The schools.
Schools?
No.
Nope.
Okay.
So if I
So currently the law, even before the chapter passed, or the law passed, schools are off limits. I cannot carry on school grounds, I can't carry in schools, I can't carry in on airport property, I can't carry in casinos, I can't carry in post offices. So those things will still remain the same, that's no change.
Thank you.
Mark Ferry, 5 Fox Way. I'd like to say that I really completely agree with her assessment here. One thing this does is if there is something going on, if there's some bad people in the town hall, if someone's being hurt in there, an actual licensed carrier cannot go in there to help, even as it stands now. I'm a retired police officer. I can't go into that building if they're in trouble in there with my firearm. What it also does is it restricts you from going from point A. If I'm going from my home to the town hall, I can't carry that whole time because you can't leave a firearm in your vehicle. So it's restricting me from carrying from point A to the town hall as well. And I really think that people should consider the fact that most of the people in this town are good people. They're licensed to carry. She said the background checks are just incredible. What she didn't mention is that you also have to be certified by the federal government because your background check goes through the federal government as well. So I hope that you all look at passing this motion.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, I'm Catherine Strozic from 1 Equestrian Way, and I oppose this. I believe we need to have gun-free zones. It's not because the people who have gone through all the background checks and all that good stuff that I worry about. I worry about those good people who have allowed irresponsible moves to occur, and we read about this and see it on the TV all the time, where a registered owner has allowed a child to take a firearm. They themselves themselves have lost their emotions, and they have misused that firearm. And I just look at, this as an opportunity to have gun-free zones, so there is fewer opportunities for this type of violence, so that we're not another Uvalde, Texas, or, that one in Connecticut. I mean, it's just, we need those places where we feel safe. There's no need for somebody to carry a loaded firearm into our town hall or other public places. So I worry about us, I worry about our children in our community if we allow this to happen. So this is one step towards it. What's the next step? I don't want to live in that town where we have gun violence. And we have a nice little town here in Berkley. Let's not allow opportunities for that to happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Andrew DeRocha, 34 Porter Street. Carry a gun since I was 21 years old. I'm 30 now. I'm required at work to carry a gun to keep everybody safe. I work in Brockton, go figure. I know the police are great, but I want to protect myself and my 10-month-old child. So anywhere I go, whether a supermarket, a park, even my parents' house in Taunton, I'm carrying a firearm. I'm not counting on somebody else to keep me safe. Sorry that a lady thinks about guns being so scary. I have some of those weapons of war she speaks about, but they don't leave my safe unless I go shooting or recreating, hunting. Another thing is, in Massachusetts, you're supposed to have your ammunition and your guns in a safe, separately locked. So if you're letting your child get a hold of your firearms, you're irresponsible. I was vetted through a process to get this license at 21. I went through it all. I was raised by a Desert Storm vet. Black and white, no gray area. Be responsible. That's all it takes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I want to address the gun-free zone issue, and I'm going to bring up a couple of stories, and I hope that this resonates with you all. I'm going to bring up the situation that happened at the mall a few years ago, many, many years ago. Unfortunately, and I'm going to say this poor gentleman because he was in a very unique situation. He had mental health issues, and I feel bad for anybody that does. And unfortunately, I'm not going to go into it, but he was let out of the hospital, and he committed some horrendous crimes here in Berkley. A woman died. Her daughter got stabbed. He got into his truck, and he decided to slam his truck into the mall. He went into the mall, he grabbed a couple other ladies and smashed their heads into the ground, and then he proceeded to go to the restaurant. He then started stabbing a pregnant waitress. A man jumped off the stool and tried to stop that, and he lost his life. And you know who stopped this situation? A good guy with a gun. So I will tell you that every single person here has gotten in a car and put a seatbelt on, correct? Do you have a fire extinguisher in your home? Why? Because you're prepared. I want to be my own first responder, and I have every right to do that and protect my children and myself. So I'm going to tell you right now, gun-free zones are not safe. In fact, I'm going to tell you one more story. A long time ago, that horrible situation that happened at the movie theater. Do you want to know that that guy that did that crime looked for a gun-free zone movie theater? Went to 5 of them. Finally found the one that was a gun-free zone. And we know what happened. So I'm just telling you right now, they're not safe. Thank you.
Bruce, 34 Grinnell Street. Last year in the United States, 45,000 people were killed by guns. The overwhelming
Situation that happened at the movie theater. Do you want to know that that guy that did that crime looked for a gun-free zone movie theater. Went to 5 of them. Finally found the one that was a gun-free zone, and we know what happened. So I'm just telling you right now, they're not safe.
Thank you.
Bruce Auclair, 34 Grinnell Street. Last year in the United States, 45,000 people were killed by guns. The overwhelming number of them were by people who never thought they would shoot somebody that they came into contact with. But they got angry, they got upset, they got drunk, or maybe someone took their gun, and this happened. This is an epidemic of gun violence in the United States like no other country that has stronger gun control. The municipal areas, the administrative spaces, where people go to pay their taxes, where people go to pay fines, when people go to adjudicate differences they have with the government, it's not a low emotion zone, it's a high emotion zone. I think it's a big mistake to allow people to bring guns into that setting. Nobody wants to, fly off the handle and shoot somebody in front of them, but it happens. It happens a lot, and it happens many more times than shooting a bad guy with a gun. It's a mistake for Berkeley to do this. I feel for the town, and we don't want this. It's not going to be helpful, despite the impassioned plea by the gun lobby. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
My name is Anne Marie Holmes. I live at 622 Berkley Street. I'd specifically like to know which places, buildings and places, such as outdoor areas, would be no longer gun-free zones if this article passes.
We'll let the moving.
Besides the town hall.
Yeah, we'll let the moving party address that when she gets up. She's two people behind you.
Okay, so specifically I'd like to know about the library, the playground, basketball court, and historical museum, all those other places.
I'm sure she'll give us some detail. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Cheyenne Liberty. I live at 29 Berkeley Street. I remember when I was in 8th grade, there was the school shooting of all of those kindergartners. I remember cowering under one of those, not incubator things. I was in 8th grade. It was, I don't know what it's called. It was in my science class. My science teacher dropped the tell, put me up there, and be like, oh, do that. So, I don't think it's fair that kids should have to fear for their lives, have to practice these gun drills. Yeah, I agree, it's great that we practice them for safety reasons. I agree with the gentleman who said, yeah, I want to protect my kid. But at the same time, look at all these other countries with all these gun laws. Yes, there are stabbings. How many stabbings do you see? How many school shootings do you see? How many school shootings do you see in America now? I just want to point that out.
Thanks, Ken.
To address the lady that had a question regarding what would this bill do, what would this article do? Basically, it will allow the town hall to opt out of any municipal building. So whatever that would be defined as. I don't know if the library is defined as that. I'm not sure. I know that town hall is. I'm not positive about that. So that's something you guys can address, which town would be considered that. I also want to mention too, and this young girl that was here, my heart breaks for our kiddos that have to deal with these situations on a daily basis and figure out how to go through live shooting drills and everything like that. And I agree, it's horrendous, it's horrible, but it is part of our lives. And a majority of, and by the way, in other states, there are, and I'm not saying that I recommend any school teacher or anybody within the school to carry a firearm. That's not what I'm saying, but I am telling you that there has been teachers that have stopped shootings because they've had a firearm. So we have resource officers in the school. We have provisions that are put into place, and we don't want to do that. But I will tell you this, that again, somebody had mentioned earlier about if a guy was angry in the town hall, what if they lost their temper? I'm going to tell you right now, I guarantee they're not a firearm owner, because we are trained not to do that. We are trained. Will we get mad if the bills are not paid correctly? Maybe. But we're not going to be putting ourselves in a situation where we could take out a firearm. That's not a responsible gun owner. And I guarantee if you actually looked at the stats, most of the shootings, actually 90% of the shootings that you see right now, are people that have illegal firearms. They own and possess illegal firearms. And you want to know what they do? The justice system arrests them over and over again, and they're let back out on the street to commit the crime again and again. Our mental health facilities are closing left and right. We are not addressing the situation on hand. Kiddos don't just come into schools and start shooting places up. Nobody does that. If they're mentally not healthy and we're not providing what we need to provide to them, then the system's broken. I just wanted to clear that up.
Thank you.
Team Larrabee 161, I'd like to make a motion to move the question.
Thank you.
Do I have a second? And a call for vote on the motion to move the question. All hands up in favor of the motion to move the question. Hands down, please. All opposed to moving the question, hands up. Hands down, please. Thank you. The motion to move the question has been approved. I'm now going to call for the vote to approve Article 18. All hands up to approve Article 18. Hands down, please. All hands up to oppose Article 18. Hands down. Article 18 has been approved. Close Article 18.